children. So today here I am with chapter 2 biological classification for class 11. So let me introduce myself. Myself Pakoli Saha from DAV Public School, CCL Giligid. So children, already you all have seen in the living world the various definitions, the various concepts associated with biology. So just we are based on those knowledge, we are going to study or proceed forward in this chapter 2, that is biological classification. Now children, what is the need for classification? Now see, in this diverse world, millions and millions of plants and animal species are there. It is not possible to identify or place each of them separately. They need to be put in certain groups. You have studied now. There is a branch of biology which is associated with identification, naming and classification of organisms. And that branch is nothing but taxonomy. Why the need of taxonomy? Just to bring the things close together in one place so that we can get more and more knowledge about all those diverse forms of the organism. So first of all, in the classification system, there were only two kingdoms, the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. But that was not acceptable. Why? Because certain characteristics were not taken into consideration. It was, of course, plants are different, animals are different, well and good, but everywhere there are some exceptions. So that classification of the two kingdoms was not at all considered. It became invalid. So let us see what was lacking in that classification. So first of all, you see two kingdom system of classification. In the two kingdom classification, what was there? Plantae and Animalia. But in this system of classification, no distinction was made between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. You children already know now what are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. I need not elaborate it right now. You all have been studying it since class 9. So in this system of classification, means Plantae and Animalia did no consideration, mentioning of the concept of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then again, the second thing which was lacking was they did not tell about the classified, means the Plantae and the Animalia. In this system of classification, the unicellular and multicellular organisms were also not taken into consideration. First, what was lacking? Eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. Second, unicellular and the multicellular organism. Then what? The photosynthetic and the non-photosynthetic organism, means the algae photosynthetic, fungi non-photosynthetic. This concept was also not taken into consideration. No distinction was made. But you know that what happened? Many organisms were there. These were the three basic criteria which was not considered at all. Now, there were many animals or there were many organisms which did not come under these two categories, which did not come under this, fall into either category. So found means this characters considered were inadequate for the two kingdom system of classification, and that's why it was discarded, rather not considered. So what two kingdom classification, why became invalid, why became not considered by the scientists all over the world? Because no consideration, no distinction was made between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Second, no mentioning of unicellular or multicellular organism. Nothing was mentioned about the photosynthetic organism and the non-photosynthetic organism. In spite of all these factors, it was seen that there are several organisms which do not fall in either of those categories. So what to do then? Then think of an alternative method of classification, isn't it? So we will move to the next topic. Now see, For any system of classification, few criteria need to be taken into consideration. Always remember, children, that for carrying out the process of classification, even if you get a plant, means an unique plant, where which you have not seen it anywhere, you are seeing it for the first time. You, as a student, or maybe afterwards you become a scientist, you need to classify it. You want to classify it. So for that, you need to take certain characters into for classification of organisms. You need to consider certain factors into consideration. What are those factors? First is the morphological part, gross morphology. So the first thing I have written now over here, it is the gross morphology. What is morphology? Means you can see now I am having two eyes. I am having this dark complexion. I am having a nose, not a pointed or not a so nice one. Okay. Then you can see my two hands. I am having curly hairs. All these things means outside appearance, whatever you can see, that is the morphological part. That is the morphological part. And that needs to be taken into consideration for what? For classification. Then the cell structure. Structure of the cell also needs to be. You have seen a plant cell. How does it look like? Animal cell, you have been studying from your lower classes. A bacterial cell, how does it look like? There is difference, na? Euglena, how does it look like? So there are vast differences, children. So you need to study the structure. First is the gross morphology, what you can see from outside. Second is the cell structure. Third is the habitat, means the conditions where it is able to thrive itself. You see the xerophytes, aquatic plant, where do they grow? They grow in the desert, and where the conditions are quite hot and humid. You see now, there is scarcity of water. So what is the habitat? Why they have been given the name xerophytes? Because of the conditions prevailing in that particular area. Why? These land plants in and around you, they are mesophytes. And in water, where the water plants also you find now. What are the habitat? Because of their habitat, they are known as what? Hydrophytes. So for classification, you need to consider first is the gross morphology. Second, cell structure. Third is what? Their habitat. The fourth is what? The mode of nutrition. Mode of nutrition means either they are autotrophs or heterotrophs. Autotrophs also is having certain categories, okay, but the main broader distinctions, what they need to be studied, whether they are having autotrophic mode of nutrition or heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Next criteria which you should consider is the method of reproduction. You have seen so many, broadly speaking, there are sexual and asexual reproduction, but under asexual, you have studied in class 10, such a lot of methods are there in asexual reproduction also. So you need, for classifying the organism, you need to study the mode of reproduction also. Last but not the least, you should be able to trace the evolutionary relationship of the organism which you are going to classify. Okay, you have to link it with the past and see the characters in common or the differences. Then maybe you will get some idea about the evolutionary relationship. So again I am repeating, what are the characteristics which should be considered for any organisms to get classified or to carry out the process of classification? First, children, you remember it is the gross morphology. Second is cell structure. Third is what? The habitat. Fourth is what? The mode of nutrition. Fifth is what? Means you have to see reproduction also, how it undergoes the reproduction, and you have to also see the evolutionary relationship. You have to also see the evolutionary relationship. So this was all about the process of classification. Now the 5 kingdom classification given by whom? Whitaker. In class 9 you have studied now So R.H. Whittaker in 1969 proposed a 5-kingdom system of classification. So when you are studying it, that means it gained momentum or consideration to a certain extent. What are those 5 kingdoms? By now you all must have marked it. Okay, what are those? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. What are those? Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. And this person, he took certain criteria into consideration for classifying the organism into these 5 kingdoms. And what are those criteria which Whittaker considered? First was the cell structure. What it was? The cell structure. You need to learn this point. Second was the body organization. Third was mode of nutrition. Fourth was reproduction. And the fifth one was the phylogenetic relationship. So he also, I told you now, for classifying any organism, you need to consider certain basic things, criteria, and he did the same thing. And as a result of which, this system of classification we are teaching you today, that means it is being considered in this subject biology. That's why you are learning it today. Now see the summary of the 5 kingdom classification given by Whittaker. Children, I would like to add again and again in each and every video, I have been putting stress upon the fact that please go through your NCERT book thoroughly. There is no alternative to it other than your teacher and other than the other sources. It is the basic thing which we are going to get is from your NCERT book. And this table is also there in your NCERT book. And please go through it. So these are the characters. These are the characters. What? These are the characters which is taken into consideration for classifying. Okay. So first is what? The cell type. The 5 kingdoms have been written. Okay. In the cell type, what you are going to see, that only Monera is prokaryote. Only Monera. Just remember it. No need of mugging it. Only Monera is prokaryote. The rest of the things are in eukaryotic. The rest of the things are in eukaryotic. What? Eukaryotic. Then again, what? The next criteria being taken into consideration is the cell wall. Monera having cell wall, but it is non-cellulosic. It is made up of polysaccharide and amino acid. And Protista, it may be present in some. It's not that significant. Fungi, you know that it is made up of chitin. It is non-cellulosic. Plant में जानते हो ना, cell wall made up of cellulose. Animal में जानते हो cell wall absent है. क्या है? Cell wall absent है. So first you see beta, first criteria considered by Whittaker is the cell type, means whether it is prokaryote and eukaryote. Remember, only Monera prokaryotes, the others having eukaryotic structure. The second one is cell wall. Cell wall कैसे याद रखोगे? Plant cell wall made up of cellulose. Animal does not have cell wall. Fungi has cell wall made up of chitin or chitin, whatever you say. The rest, it may be present over here or not, but here it is non-cellulosic. The third is nuclear membrane. Very simple. Prokaryotes does not have nuclear membrane. Eukaryotes have nuclear membrane. So it is absent over here. The rest, nuclear membrane is present. Very simple to remember. So you have to remember it. Okay, means learn it by heart. Then the body organization. Body organization means whether it is cellular or tissue level or organ system. On this you have studied now. So body organization, Monera cellular, Protista cellular. Fungi, it is multicellular. Always remember, loose tissue is there. Okay, arrangement. Plantae, you know, tissues as well as organ. And animals, tissues, organs, organ system. So you see gradually how the gradation is going down. And last but not the least is the mode of nutrition. Monera, it acts both as autotrophic and as heterotrophic. एंड ऑटोट्रॉपिक में क्या होगा बेटा, ये फोटोसिंथेटिक भी हो सकता है, कीमोसिंथेटिक भी हो सकता है, और हेट्रोट्रोप में सैप्रोफाइट भी हो सकता है, पैरासाइट भी हो सकता है. Here also in Protista you see autotrophic and heterotrophic both mode of nutrition, but in autotrophic it has to be specifically photosynthetic. Fungi it is heterotrophic. You know, you have been asked na, mention the mode of nutrition in fungi. Always you have written saprophytic and parasitic. So it is heterotrophic, it may be saprophytic or parasitic. Plantae as usual, autotrophic, photosynthetic. Animals, heterotrophic. It may be holozoic, it may be saprophytic, and so many etc. had to be there. So we need not mention about it. So this was all about the basic description about the process of classification. Now the next thing we are in the next video which I am going to take over is I am going to mention each and every characteristics of the different kingdoms like Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia, and that will be followed with the exceptional cases also, some exceptions in the group which are showing some peculiar characters and all. So with this children, I would like to end this video or this lesson of mine. Next day we will start with the characteristics of the 5 kingdoms. Each kingdom we will start separately. Okay, till then stay safe, stay indoors, study hard, and lot of blessings for all of you.